Okay, fine. Welcome back to Social Science. Today's topic is chapter number 1 from the Political Science textbook. What is the name of the chapter, Mr. Vishnu VV? First chapter from Political Science. What is that?
Power sharing.
Power sharing. What do you know about power sharing, Mr. Vishnu? Come on, tell me. What do you know about power sharing? So remember, in the last class, we discussed about the various types of societies, right? Okay, not only one, two, three, four, five. We are able to divide or we have to create lots of societies. Okay, people with different mentalities, people with different languages, people those who believe in different religions, different castes. Okay, so thousands of such kind of societies are existing in our country, right? Okay, so it is important to provide equal importance for almost all these society or for all these societies, right? It's the responsibility of a democratically elected government. Okay, what is the responsibility of a democratic elected government? Okay, accommodate the social diversities. Okay, giving room for each and everyone to lead a good, dignified, respectful life in the society. So related with that, in this chapter we are discussing about the two particular case studies. One is the Belgium, the case study from Belgium. The other one is from Sri Lanka. Other one is from Sri Lanka. So we discussed about the Belgium, I think so, right? Rifa, is that correct? Rifa Abdul Kalam. Is that correct? We discussed about the Belgium, right?
Yes,
Then
sir.
Rifa, tell me, Rifa, what was the problem that basically the people faced at Belgium? Belgium.
It,
No
it,
problem. Listen, nothing serious here. Nothing serious. Everything is in a normal, common, and easy way. What you understood, you can just express that in your own words there. Okay, clear. Come on, Rifa, start.
there were three
Ah.
different divisions in the country.
Okay, for that we are using a particular term, which is that. What is that? Ethnical, right? Ethnical. Then come on. Three different ethnic groups are there. Fine.
Yes, sir. There was different groups. The Brussels, uh, the there were the Flemish in the Flemish region.
Uh,
People who spoke Dutch.
then
Then there were another 40% in the Wallonia region who spoke
region.
French.
Okay, correct.
And the remaining 1% of the Belgians who
Ah,
speak German.
German speaking people. Okay, so three different linguistic groups. Linguistic groups. So here is a problem between these two groups there. First two groups, the Dutch speaking people and the French speaking people. Right. Okay. What led? What is the reason for this trouble between these two group of people? The Dutch speaking people, they believed that the French speaking people, they are rich, they are developed. Okay, they are developed, and the Dutch speaking people are not that much developed as of the French. Okay, as of the French speaking people. So there's a clash between these two groups of people. Okay, so in this chapter, we want to study about how the Belgian government solved that issue between these two groups of people. These two groups of people. Okay. So before that, sorry, please hold on. My board is board hang. I think so. Okay. So screen sharing. Can you see the screen now? Hello. The screen is visible for you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So here, so the last class we discussed up to here, I think so. Right? Yes, up to here. Okay. Here you can see we discussed about the ethnic composition of Belgium. Ethnic composition of Belgium, different language groups and their composition. Okay. So this is about Belgium. Okay. Next one we are going to discuss about Sri Lanka. Let us compare this to the situation in another country. Sri Lanka is an island nation just a few kilometers off the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. Okay, from India. It has about 2 crore people, about the same as Haryana. Okay, the 2 crore people in the population of Sri Lanka is almost same as Haryana. Like other nations in South Asian region, Sri Lanka has a diverse population. The major social groups are the Sinhala speakers, nearly 74%. Okay, the Sinhala speakers are nearly 74%, and the Tamil speakers are nearly 18%. 18%. Among Tamils, there are two subgroups. Tamil natives of the country are called Sri Lankan Tamils. They are nearly 13%. 13%. Clear? Tamil natives. 1 minute. Let me check a message. Okay. The rest, whose forefathers came from India as plantation workers during colonial period, are called Indian Tamils. Okay, so already, okay, number of Tamilians are there were at Sri Lanka. Okay, they are the natives of Sri Lanka, natives of Sri Lanka, termed as the Sri Lankan Tamils. Sri Lankan Tamils. Okay, they constitute nearly 13%. 13%. Then from India, number of Tamilians migrated to Sri Lanka. Migrated to Sri Lanka. What do you mean by the term migration? Migration.
Moving on from one place to another.
Moving from one place to another. Correct, correct. Okay, Vishnu Priya. And someone, Hansin, I think so, told the answer. Correct. So moving from one place to another. One place to another is termed as migration. Okay. So a number of these Tamilians from India, they migrated to Sri Lanka in search of job. Okay. Their forefathers, they migrated to Sri Lanka. They constitute nearly 17% in Sri Lanka. Basically, they're termed as the Indian Tamils. Indian Tamils. Okay. So three groups of people. One is the Sinhala speaking people there in Sri Lanka, that nearly 74%. Next to the Indian Tamils, 17%. Sri Lankan Tamils, 13%. 13%. This is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. Ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. Here also, the problem is related with the language, right? Linguistic groups are there. Language based groups are there. Okay, as you can see from the map, Sri Lankan Tamils are concentrated in the north and east of the country. So you can see here. So the yellow colors shows indicate the Sinhala speaking Sri Lankans. Okay, then the orange color indicates Sri Lankan Tamil, and the brown color indicating the Indian Tamil, and the round polka dots that shows the Muslims region. Okay, the region where Muslim stays. Okay, clear or not? These are the basic regions in Sri Lanka. Okay, as you can see from the map, Sri Lankan Tamils are concentrated in the north and east of the country. Most of the Sinhala speaking people are Buddhist. Another importance, most of the Sinhala speakers are Buddhist. Their religion is a Buddhism. Okay, the Sinhala speaking people are Buddhist people, while most of the Tamils are Hindus or Muslims. So not only the linguistic problem, one more problem is there, the problem that relates with religion. So division is not only on the basis of language, but also on the basis of religion. Okay, there are 7% of Christians who are both Tamil and Sinhala. Okay, 7% of Christians also are there. They are both Tamilians and the Sinhalas. Okay, the majority of the Sinhala speaking people are Buddhist, but the Muslims also are there. Then Christians also are there. Okay, most of the Tamil speaking people, they are Hindus and Muslims. Okay, just imagine what could happen in the situation like this in Belgium. The Dutch community could take advantage of its numeric majority and force its will on the French and German speaking population. This would push the conflict among the communities further. So in Belgium, what happened? The Dutch community, they are more in number. They are the majority. Clear or not? So they can take the advantage of their numeric majority. They are more in number. That's what numeric majority. They are more in number. If they used their majority or their power against the French speaking minority, we know that, or the German speaking minority, we know that it will lead to a great problem, a big problem in that country. This could lead to a very messy partition of the country. Both the states would claim control over Brussels. Okay, clear. So what happened? Both the French speaking people and the Dutch speaking people in Belgium, they claim for the capital city termed as Brussels. They want, both these communities want Brussels. Okay, that's the situation in Belgium. But in Sri Lanka, the Sinhala community enjoyed an even bigger majority and could impose its will on the entire country. Now let us look what happened in both these countries. Okay, but in Sri Lanka, what is the trouble there? In Belgium, both groups are almost equal in number, So they are able to divide the country into two, and both these parties or both these linguistic groups are claim on the capital city called Brussels. Both these groups want the capital city termed as a Brussels there. But in Sri Lanka, the majority of the Sinhala speaking are more, nearly 74%. Okay, clear or not? Nearly 74%. So just imagine if the Sinhala speaking people trying to dominate over the minorities, I mean the Tamilians, what will happen there? Okay, so now we are going to discuss about majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. So remember, the majority is trying to dominate over the minority. Okay, the majority is trying to dominate over the minorities. It will lead to a problem called a civil war, a fight between two groups of people within the country. That is a civil war, right? What is that? A fight between two different groups of people within the country. It is termed as a civil war. So we will discuss that later. So remember one thing. Now we are going to discuss what happened in Sri Lanka, how these majority Sinhala speaking people tried to dominate over the Tamil minorities. So this activities is basically termed as majoritarianism. What is that? Majoritarianism. They are majority in number. They are more in number. So the Sinhala speaking people are more in number in Sri Lanka. So they tried to dominate over, try to control over, or try to push away the Tamil speakers or Tamil speaking people. Okay, so now this is important question for you people. Write a short note on majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Write a short note on majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Okay, so Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in the year 1948. The leaders of the Sinhala community sought to secure dominions over government by virtue of their majority. Okay, so Sri Lanka is a neighboring country of India, got independence in the year 1948. Okay, 1948, clear. And the Sinhala community, they are more in number. They tried to control the government. Okay, because they are more in number, they are able to elect the government. Okay, they are able to create the government. Okay, so they are able to control the government also because they are more in number. As a result, the democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarian measures to establish a Sinhala supremacy because the government is the majority government. The government is almost made by the Sinhala speaking people. So they can take or they can create policies that support the majority, that support the Sinhala speaking people. My question is, are you able to understand these things? These things are clear or not? These things are clear or not? Now, remember, what is that? Some group of people, they are more in number, all right? They are trying to dominate over the people, those who are less in number, clear? The people more in number, that time we will use the term what? Majority. The people less in number, that time we will use the term minority, clear? So this is the issue between majority and minority, clear? So Belgium, we observed that in Belgium, what is the problem? Both the communities is almost same percentage. Okay, not equal, but not that much differences. Okay, both countries, both these communities fought for their dominions. Okay, clear or not? Okay, but what is the problem? The problem is both these groups, they want the capital city called Brussels. Okay, so that's what the problem there. So stop that. Okay, we will discuss that later. So in Belgium, these two communities, they fought for the capital city called Brussels, and they want to divide the country on the basis of language. Okay, but in Sri Lanka, the system is different. The problem is different. Here, the Tamil speaking people are very less in number, Okay, so they are nearly 17%. Nearly 74% Sinhala speaking Sri Lankans are there. They are Buddhist people. Clear or not? Okay. So the problem is too nasty here in Sri Lanka because the government is the majoritarian government. Because the majority people, they made their government, right? Clear or not? So one group is in majority, definitely they are able to make the government and they are able to create a rules and regulations to protect them. So they did it in Sri Lanka. So what happened in Sri Lanka? In 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language. Okay, what happened? In 1956, they declared that Sinhala is the only official language of Sri Lanka. Okay, thus, disregarding Tamil, which means they not give any importance for or any citation for the Tamil language. The Tamil language. Tamil, you know, it is one of the oldest language in the world, right? Is that correct? Is that correct?
Sir.
Okay, how can we prove that? Tamil is one of the oldest language in the world. Okay. So we will study in a higher classes there about the Sangam literature, if you choose so. Okay, let it be. Okay, so it is a oldest language. But in Sri Lanka, the people of Sri Lanka, the Sinhala people, they didn't give any special importance for the Tamil language, and they made Sinhala as the official language of Sri Lanka. Okay, without giving any respect to other language. Tamil. The governments followed preferential policies that favored Sinhala applicants for university positions and government jobs. And the next one, the government give some reservations or preferences for the people of Sri Lanka, basically the Sinhala speaking people, the Buddhist speaking people, Buddhist people. Okay, their religion is Buddhism. Okay, the Buddhist people they are. So the Sri Lankan government give importance for the religion Buddhism and the language Sinhala. And for such kind of people, they give preferences to get admissions in universities and job in the government services. Job in the government services. Clear? Okay, read it again. The governments followed preferential policies. Giving preference for the Sinhala speaking people. Okay, preferential policies that favored Sinhala applicants for university positions and government jobs. A new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect and foster Buddhism. And in the constitution, they mentioned that the government will support and try to improve the religion called Buddhism. Clear? Clear? Okay, so these things that led to the problem in Sri Lanka. All these government measures coming one after the other gradually increase the feeling of alienation. What do you mean alienation? Okay, so the Tamilians, they felt that the people, those who living in Sri Lanka from India, basically they are speaking Tamil, their religion is Hinduism and they are Islams. Okay, they believed that the Sri Lankan government is alienating them, which means making them away from the mainstream or avoiding them. Clear? Understanding or not? So what the government did here, what the Sri Lankan government did here, they created a policy. As per that, they started protecting the Sinhala language and the religion called Buddhism. And they give preferences for the Sinhala speaking people to get positions in the universities and government jobs. Okay, but there is no preferences for the Tamil speaking people. All right. So the Tamilians believed, okay, they felt that they are alienated or the Sri Lankan government is avoiding them. Sri Lankan government is avoiding them. Okay, among the Sri Lankan Tamils, they felt that none of the major political parties led by the Buddhist Sinhala leaders was sensitive to their language and culture. Okay, so all the Tamil speaking people, they believed that there are a number of political parties are there in Sri Lanka, but the political party leaders in Sri Lanka, they are not that much interested with the problems of the Tamil speaking people. Okay, basically they are giving importance for their language and their culture and not the Tamil language and Tamil culture. Okay, they felt that the constitution and the government policies denied them equal political rights. Okay, so the Tamilians felt very bad. What is that? The constitution and the government policies denied them equal political rights. There is no equal political rights for the Tamilians as of the Sinhala speaking people. They are discriminated against them in getting jobs and other opportunities and ignored their interests. Okay, so write a question. What are the problems that faced by the Tamilians in Sri Lanka that led to the civil war? Write down the question. What are the problems that faced by the Sri Lankan Tamils? Sorry, the Tamilians. What are the problems that faced by the Tamilians in Sri Lanka? In Sri Lanka, and how that led to the civil war? And how that led to the civil war? Next question. Tell me.
Can you repeat it again?
Write down. Can you hear me? Okay, you can write like this also. What are the problems that faced by Tamilians in Sri Lanka that led to the civil war? That led to the civil war. Okay. Next
Sir,
question.
the first question's answer is
First question's answer is here are from. Okay. In 1956 onwards, the answer is here. Okay. Up to this point. Marked as 1. These are the problem basically that faced by the Tamilians from the Sri Lankan government. Okay. So write as points there. Okay, next question. What do you mean by the term majoritarianism? What do you mean by the term majoritarianism? What do you mean by the term majoritarianism? Answer is here. You can see a belief that the majority community should be able to rule a country in whichever way it wants by disregarding the wishes and needs of the minority. That is termed as majoritarianism.
Sir,
That
can you
is the
repeat
third
it?
question, right?
Yeah, what is majoritarianism? What is majoritarianism? Okay, so here we observed the problems that faced by the Tamilians in Sri Lanka. These are the major problems. So all these problems or all these troubles that faced by the Tamilians, okay, that made them to think against the Sri Lankan government. Okay, clear? Because there is no preferences for the Tamil language. There is no reservation for the Tamilians in jobs. Okay, even the Sri Lankan political party leaders not giving any importance for Tamil culture and language. Okay, they felt they are discriminated. Okay, they felt that they are alienated. Okay, as a result, the relations between the Sinhala and the Tamil communities strained over time. Because of all these reasons, okay, the relationship between the Sinhala speaking people and the Tamilians become worst or become bad. Okay, the Sri Lankan Tamils launched parties and struggles for recognition of Tamil as an official language. Clear? So then what happened? What happened? This is the pathway towards the civil war. Okay, civil war. So the Sri Lankan Tamils launched parties and struggles, protest movements to recognition of Tamil as an official language. So number of movements that started by the Tamil speaking, basically the protest movement that started by the Tamil speaking people to recognize Tamil as a official language of Sri Lanka. Clear? For regional autonomy and for regional autonomy, self-government. Okay, to create self-government. So you know that in this map, number of areas are there. Basically, this orange color region. Okay, that is Sri Lankan Tamils, clear or not? And you can see the brown color region, that is a Indian Tamil. Okay, these people want self-rule, autonomy. They want to make government for their own in these regions, Okay, you can see two different places that one is Jaffna, other is Trincomalee, okay, Batticaloa, Kandy, okay, Colombo. These are the major areas under the control of the Tamilians. There, clear? Okay, so they want the autonomy in those regions. They want to create their own government in those regions. Okay. So they fought for, they operated, they started struggles for recognition of Tamil language. Sorry, Tamil language and regional autonomy and equality of opportunity in securing education and jobs. Okay. So they want the equality of education, regional autonomy, and the government want to treat Tamil as an official language. Their demand for more autonomy to provinces populated by the Tamils was repeatedly denied. But the government or the Sinhala government is not ready to accept the demand that made by the Tamil people. Okay, the government of Sri Lanka, they are not ready to provide any special powers for the Tamil speaking people. By 1980s, several political organizations were formed demanding a independent Tamil Eelam. Underline that, independent Tamil Eelam. Eelam means a state. Okay, Eelam means state, Tamil state. So number of movements started, number of political organizations started by the Tamil speaking people by 1980s. 1980s for separate Tamil speaking regions or regions for the Tamil speaking people. Okay, in the northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka, the distrust between the two communities turned into widespread conflict. It soon turned into a civil war. So this is the answer for the question. How these problems led to the civil war? I already told you, right? Okay, so the majoritarianism of Sri Lankan government that led to the civil war. So Tamil speaking people, they argued or they demanded for respecting the Tamil language and accepting that as the official language, and they demand for the regional autonomy, and they demanded for provisions to get jobs in the government and seats in the universities. But the Sri Lankan government had not accepted the demand that made by the Tamilians. The same time, number of Tamil organizations started at 1980s for separate Tamil states. So there's a trouble started between the Sinhala speaking people and the Tamil speaking people that soon led to a problem called a civil war. So here is an answer for the question. What is a civil war? One mark answer, one more question. What is a civil war? Okay, a violent conflict between opposing groups within a country that becomes so intense that is appears like a war. Clear? So it's a war between or a trouble between intense tension or conflict between two groups of people within the country, almost like a war, Okay, but not between the countries, but between two groups of people within the country. Clear? That is a civil war. So write the question. What is a civil war? What is a civil war? Okay, what is a civil war? So write down. As a result, thousands of people of both the communities have been killed. So civil war started, a fight between the Sinhala speaking people and the Tamil speaking people. As a result of that, thousands of people have been killed. Many families were forced to leave the country as refugees, and many more lost their livelihoods. Clear? Okay, what happened? The fight between the government, I mean the Sinhala speaking people and the Tamil speaking people, number of people died in that incident. Number of people lost their houses. Number of people, they wanted to lead a life like a refugee. those who lost everything. Okay. So number of people, they left their country also. So you have read about Sri Lanka's excellent record on economic development. So we will discuss that in a economics class. Let it be. Okay. So before this incident or before the civil war, Sri Lanka, it was well developed. Okay. Number of tourists visited that country for several years continuously. Okay. So it's a very good tourist destination. But because of the civil war, they lost their spot in the tourist map. Okay, they are possessing the tourist map. People, they started rejecting Sri Lanka because there is security issues are there. Okay, so as a result of that, Sri Lanka become backward in its development. So the government is a failure to control the problem between two groups of people in Sri Lanka. Right? What was the real problem there? It was a democratical government, but the democratical government was a failure. Clear? The government failed to solve the problem between these two groups of people, and even the government tried to become a majoritarian government. Okay, the government that's standing for the majority. Afsana, Pratyush, John Samuel, Hadi, Nirupama, Meghna, Pradeep, John, Heidi, Surya, Nirupama. Here, listen, I cannot call your name for thousands of times to turn on your, or requesting you people to turn on your camera. So mind it hereafter. Okay. So I will record the data as absent. Okay. And you are all responsible for that. Okay, fine. So here what happened? The government became a majoritarian government and they failed to control the problem between the two groups of people, basically the linguistic groups that led to civil war, and a number of people died in that incident or in that civil war there. Okay, so I will give you 5 minutes just to read that and understand any doubt miss. Okay, so that led to serious problems in Sri Lanka. Number of people lost their life. Okay, but at the same time, what happened in Belgium? Okay, so the Belgium leaders took a different path. Okay, though Sri Lanka, the government failed to solve the problem. As a result of that, the problem become, or that turned into a civil war. Number of people lost their life. But Belgian government, they took a different stand. What is that? The Belgian leaders took a different path. They recognized the existence of regional differences and cultural diversities. So they understood, okay, differences are there. Both these groups want to stay in the country. Okay. Cultural pluralities are there. Cultural problems are there. So between 1970 and 1993, they amended. So another word for you, amended. Write down the meaning of the term. Making changes in the constitution is termed as amendment. Amended. So means, amended means making changes in the constitution. Making changes in the constitution. That time we will use the term amended. Okay. Making some changes in the constitution. Do you know what is a constitution? Do you know what is a constitution? Tell me, Afsana, what is a constitution? Afsana? What is a constitution? No answers from Afsana? Adidev, what is a constitution?
A set of rules and regulations
Ah.
That is how a government works.
Functions. Okay, good. Okay, set of rules and regulations or law of the land. Law of the land, right? Okay. So some special situations, we want to make some changes in the constitution, right? With the consent of the legislature, we will make the changes. That process is termed as amendment. Clear? Clear? So making changes in the existing rules and regulations in the constitution with the consent of the legislature is termed as amendment. Okay. So in Belgium, they made some changes in the constitution between 1970 and 1993. Okay. How many times they changed the constitution? 4 times. 1 mark answer. how many times the Belgians amended their constitution? Amended their constitution. The answer is 4 times. How many times? 4 times the Belgians amended their constitution. Okay. So why they made changes in their constitution? Okay. Here, between 1970 and 1993, they amended their constitution 4 times so as to work out an arrangement that could enable everyone to live together within the same country. Write the question. Why the Belgians amended their constitution between 1970 and 1993? Why the Belgians amended their constitution between 1970 and 1993? 1970 and 1993.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Repeating again, why the Belgians amended their constitution between 1970 and 1993? Okay. The arrangement they worked out is different from any other country and is very innovative. Here are some of the elements of Belgian model. So, write next question. Write a short note on the Belgian model of power sharing. Write a short note on the Belgian model of power sharing. Write a short note on the Belgium model of power sharing. Write a short note on the Belgium model of power sharing. Okay, so all these points are important. So bullet marks are there, you can see here. So constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking minister shall be equal in the central government. So first important activity or first important provision in the constitution, what is that? The constitution says that the number of Dutch and French speaking minister shall be equal in the central government. For example, in the central government, 50 ministers are there, 25 Dutch and 25 French speaking ministers. Clear? You got it? Okay. Dutch 25, French 25. Okay. Equal number of ministers from both the linguistic group or both the language group. Some special laws required to support the majority of members from each linguistic groups. Some special rules and regulations they made to support the members from each linguistic group. Thus, no single community can make a decision unilaterally. So, no group is able to take any decision alone. Okay. So, no group is able to take any decision alone. They want to take the decision by mutual understanding. Mutual understanding. They want to sit, they want to discuss. Then only they are able to take a decision. So, such kind of provision is there in the constitution. Many powers of the central government have been given to state government of the two regions to the country. The state governments are not subordinate to the central government. And we know that, already we know that. So this map, okay. So this is divided into 2 states. One state is for the French speaking people, other state for the Dutch speaking people. Clear or not? Okay. For all together, one government, central government, and 2 separate regions for French speaking people and Dutch speaking people. Clear or not? So central government don't have any control over these Dutch or French speaking states. Clear? Is that clear or not? Okay, next one. Yeah, many powers of the central government have been given to the state government of the 2 regions of the country. The state government do not subordinate to the central government. Okay, the state governments are not the subordinates of the central government. They are also have some equal power as of the central government. Okay, next one. Brussels has separate government in which both the communities have equal representation. Next one. Already we know that both these communities fought for the power of or fought for the capital city. So Brussels is the capital city where a separate government for Brussels. You can see this orange color one. It is the Brussels here. Okay, that is divided for both the Dutch-speaking area and French-speaking people. The Brussels is divided for both French-speaking and Dutch-speaking people. A special government is there. The French-speaking people accepted equal representation in Brussels because the Dutch-speaking community has accepted equal representation in the central government. Clear or not? Okay, both the communities accepted the representation. Okay, equal representation. Okay, apart from the central and the state government, there is a third kind of government that is termed as the community government. What is that? Community government. So we studied about the central government here and the state governments, and one more government they created as per the constitution, that is termed as the community government, a local self-government, elected by people belonging to one language community, Dutch, French, and German speaking, no matter where they live. Clear? Clear? Okay, no matter where they live, wherever they live, that's not a problem. They are able to elect their government, community government. Okay, basically the community government is look after the problems of the German-speaking people, the Dutch-speaking people, and the French-speaking people. So different community governments are there for 3 different languages. Okay. This government has the power regarding cultural, educational, and language-related issues. So, community government has the powers related with cultural activities, educational activities, and language-related issues. Okay, clear? So, 3 types of government. So, you might find the Belgian model very complicated. It indeed is very complicated, yes, of course, even for people living in Belgium, but these arrangements have worked well so far. Okay, they help to avoid civic strife, I mean a civil war between 2 major communities and a possible division of the country on linguistic lines. When many countries of Europe come together to form European Union, Brussels was chosen as its headquarters. So later, number of countries in Europe came together, or they joined together to create the European Union, and that time they choose Brussels as its capital. Okay, clear? Why? Brussels have a history. Okay, they solved the problem between 2 different groups of people. So they choose Brussels as their capital. So this is an important question. Okay, learn it properly. How the Belgium government accommodated different sections of the people without making any trouble. Okay, so just read that. Answers you should write and submit it by tomorrow. Okay, let me take that in 1 minute.